This is OpenLine.
All right, happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to OpenLine, live here on News Channel 5 Plus. We're so glad you've tuned in. Rory Johnston in the chair tonight, just ran over from the other studio, and my good friend Kevin Kennedy is here. That means it is time for Ask the Attorney, and it's always great to see Mr. Kennedy, who makes his time to drive all the way down to Nashville from Clarksville after a busy day.
Rory,
Kevin, great to see you.
It's my pleasure. We've been having a great time.
Catching up a little bit.
Yes,
it's been a while.
we did. It's been great to reminisce for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm just talking to you about Kevin's been appearing here for 8 years now.
Can you believe it? That was when I was young. That's when I was thin, Rory. And Rory never changes. He is the ageless man.
Yeah, I wish.
Channel 5.
Definitely changing. But listen, our regular viewers, you know what a great opportunity this is for you to call in and get a little bit of guidance and advice on a legal concern you may have. You know the number 737 plus. Kevin Kennedy, you know, we're talking to him too. His law firm based up in Clarksville, but
yes.
you've got spots all over, and you've got it's grown. It has grown through the years. You've been successful, and for a reason.
When I look back over, you know, it has grown. And so, what's the question? The question is because our population has grown,
right.
And the traffic has grown, and with that, the problems, every time the legislature meets, they write new laws. So they say, well, I thought you knew the law. Well, we did last year, and then it's changed. And so one of the interesting things, Rory, I just came back from the National Trial Lawyers Convention in Las Vegas. Well, what did you learn? Man, massive tort action all over the nation. And there's a wave coming over prescription drugs like you've never known.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's so much that we continue to learn. One of the great things that I think I've learned over the years is take the proactive approach. If you suspected that there was a problem, get up, pick up the phone, call, investigate. You know, we have more access with Google now to so many ideas. So it's no one's fault but our own to try to pursue it and then say, is there something there? And so I've always maintained that an educated society is a better society.
Yeah.
I've always maintained that cameras in the courtroom, that's a good thing. That's your business. And because transparency, and we're teaching, constantly teaching each other all the time. So I love being out there, got lots of ideas. And one of the fascinating things about Las Vegas, so when everybody, they said, well, we were talking about, I saw some others that do television shows in different parts of the nation, and they said Nashville. Everybody down there thinks Nashville is it. It's the home run.
So we need to get them to hold their convention here next time, right?
It is true.
Yeah,
it is true.
Right. 737 plus is the phone number, and since you mentioned you know, I want to talk about just some of the key things that you hit upon in your practice.
Yes.
You were talking about laws passed in July here in Tennessee. The telephones no more in your hands in the car.
Watch out,
and yet I still see every day driving. I'll see a car in front of me, kind of not paying attention, and as soon as I pass that car, I look, and sure enough, I see them phone in hand, and I want to say, "You're going to get busted. You better put that." I bought myself a mount, and leave my phone on where I can see it, but I don't touch it. And
come on,
you know.
Well, let me tell you and teach you one more little lesson about that. So, so they say, Kevin, I'm so scared I'm going to get a ticket. Well, I said, well, that's an issue we really don't want to deal with. However, should you have the car accident and they subpoena those records and you've got the accident this time, and the truth is the cameras are always on, the microphone is always on, everybody's got a camera, and if they catch you on that phone, then that puts you in a negligent position.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be reached out and they'll hammer you. And one of the things that I want everyone to hear today is check your insurance policy. Check your policies for your children. So many Uber drivers don't realize that you need to have a commercial rider on your policy, because otherwise, if you were to deliver some food, we had that come through the office, and they said, you're not covered. You said, well, I've got insurance, until they say you're not covered under this. Then sometimes you have to get a lawyer and say, well, Well, we weren't
Right.
doing that at that time. So that is a massive wave that we see coming. So be very sensitive. Dads, talk to your children. Moms, talk to your children. Grandparents, talk to your family. And a phone call to your insurance adjuster goes back to the old saying, a good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding.
Aren't you surprised how many people don't realize what they're covered, what's covered, what isn't?
Come on. And that's one of the big problems with our society. I wish they would teach high school students, you know, how do you operate in a courtroom? No one but you're held to that accountability.
That's right.
And so then all these laws come in, and the kids say, well, I didn't realize that. And so it's so easy to get in the car with someone and they mess up and everybody gets charged.
And I'm glad you brought up the ride share. We did a story here about a couple of months ago. An Uber or Lyft,
Come
one
on,
of those
that's it.
drivers got into an accident while the app was on.
Yes.
And supposedly they provide some insurance for their drivers they pay for, but did not have, she was on her way to pick up a passenger.
Yes.
So now her regular insurance, once she turns on that app, her regular insurance company is off.
And here's the
She hits a car.
Go, Rory.
And but the Uber or Lyft, they said, we're not covering you because you didn't have a passenger in the car. So there's a gap there, like you said. You've got to get a rider. You've got to get something to cover you.
The real world is that you've got to constantly be aware of what our rights are. Try to keep yourself inside those parameters.
Yeah.
And sometimes unscrupulous insurance adjusters will jump at you and say, we're not covering it. Sue me. Sue me. And so we see a more aggressive insurance industry than I have ever seen in my life. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely and unequivocally.
Let's get to a couple phone calls before our first break, and I appreciate y'all holding. I believe Lorraine is up first. Hey, Lorraine, welcome.
Hi, my name is Lorraine.
Lorraine, sorry about that.
I beg your pardon.
That's all right. Go right ahead, Lorraine.
Okay, I'm calling in regards to a problem that I have in my condominium. I own the condominium that I live in, and it's a condominium up above me. And the person that owns that put laminated floors in there.
Yes.
And there's no surface under there. And it's 5 people living in a 2-bedroom. And it's so noisy. And I don't know what to do about this for him to fix this. And I just need to see, can you give me some information on or direct me to the right place to go to get information from?
Lorraine, do you have a homeowners association or anything like that, an HOA?
Yes, I do. I've been in touch with them for months, and they haven't done anything.
Wow. Well, you know, Rory, you were right on it. Rory's about a lawyer because he went straight to the heart of that. It's the same thing I would have said. Yeah. Let's go to them. And you can file a formal complaint with the homeowners. You can also have a lawyer write these people a letter and say you're causing a disturbance and you have a right to the quiet enjoyment of your property. So there's several things that you can do. And so I would talk to a private lawyer and I would make plans to try to make that known to the other party.
And you think, Lorraine, maybe they installed no subfloor and there's nothing to really cushion the noise, is what you're saying?
There's nothing at all, and I cannot sleep. They come in all time of the night, and until they up until 2 o'clock at night. And I'm usually in the bed about 9 or 10 o'clock after the news, and it wakes me up. And I'm elderly, and I can't go back to sleep. And this goes on until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
That's a nuisance for sure.
It is a nuisance for sure. And thank you for calling, because that's going to affect a lot of other listeners here. And so when they go to purchase one, they need to investigate those kind of issues.
Yeah.
And then
start with
building
that
codes
HOA.
could be a problem because they didn't put enough insulation between your seat and that. So those are other issues.
Okay, and I need to find a lawyer to write a letter to the homeowner.
That's where I'd start.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for calling.
All right,
Thank
Lorraine.
you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we've got more calls lined up. As I expected, when Mr. Kennedy is here, you're taking advantage. We appreciate it. We got to do a little business, take a break. We'll be right back with more Open Line.